Back at Corner Exit's first event of the year with the Ford Focus RS from Rally Innovations. Last time at Streets, I was able to give my first impressions of the Falkens. So today I'm going to try to give a more in-depth test. Also update you guys on the K&N Typhoon Intake that we installed a while back, and also some maintenance with some tips from FSWERKS. So that was my first run, first practice run of the day. It was pretty slippery at the end when it started to get tighter. The course started to get tighter, and I had to flick the car a little more. Other than that, it was pretty composed. Let's see what the tire pressure is after the first run. Keep in mind, I did have it at 30 psi. Currently, it's about I would say at 58, 59 degrees out here in Lake Elsinore. So let me check real quick. Still at 30 for the front, so I'm gonna check all the other ones, and so far it's been pretty consistent. All right, so that's the first set of practice runs complete. I did 4 in total. I actually did 30 psi all the way around, and it didn't shoot up much from there. It stayed around 30 consistently, so it did have a little bit of back end slip, especially coming out of the third 90-degree turn at the back. Overall, it's pretty composed, and I did end up doing 30 psi front, 29 psi rear. And yeah, it's handling great so far, so we'll see how it does in competition runs. So that concludes the very first Corner Exit Autocross of 2024. Hopefully many more to come with our Focus RS. I'd like to thank Falken for sending us these RT660s for me to test. Today was a bit more in-depth. I was able to maintain tire pressures throughout. It started off when it was around 48 degrees outside or so. I started out with 32 psi squared. It rose up by the end of practice runs to around 35. By the end of comp runs, I switched over to 30 psi all the way around, and it didn't change much from there, so very good on that. While I didn't chalk the tires for tire wear, at the end of the day, it was pretty minimal, so we'll see how they'll hold up at more events. The RS is very fun to drive. Almost feels like a rally car, which technically it is on the street. It was very, I would steer by throttle, whereas before it would push and plow. Now with these tires, they give just enough grip, but enough to slip a little, and it feels so much fun driving this car at Autocross. I'd also like to thank FSWERKS for giving us some maintenance tips. We changed out the plugs to NGK ones and gapped them correctly, so less backfire. And finally, I'd like to thank K&N Filters for sending us the Typhoon Intake a couple months ago. And yeah, it's been pretty good. So yeah, with all the parts from Falken, K&N, and advice from FSWERKS, this RS is driving just like a dream.